Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now. Christian and Jonathan of Narnia, thank you so much for your time today. Exciting times when we speak. It's a month and a half away from the new album coming out. Before we get into it straight away, I know that you guys are busy schedules, press cycles are starting, or maybe already are in full swing. Narnia seems to be back from never really gone away. We'll come back to that because a few years ago we had a new album. We had the compilation album. Nevertheless, Ghost Town is coming, and that's exciting stuff. You guys both seem so relaxed right now. Is that really the way that you feel, or is there some excitement brewing inside for the release of Ghost Town?
Yeah, I'm deeply thankful that the band is still around, that we still have a good progress in songwriting in the way that we perform it, and this new album, everything felt into places, fall into places in a good way. So personally, I'm deeply satisfied and excited to bring out these new songs to the fans.
Twisting and turning the truth, steer them all away from the path, away from the call.
This new album is in a way a celebration of those 25 years. Like we hear different elements of Narnia throughout its career come back at this album. There's quite a good amount of variety in the album, and it almost feels like every song is a bit of a callback to a certain time in the history of the band. Is there some truth to this? Is this almost like like a best of but all new songs?
That was exactly what one of the reviewers said to CJ, our guitarist. Exact those words.
Yeah.
I don't know. CJ wrote all the song or all the music for a start, and then we completed with melodies and words and lyrics. So I don't know if he had that in mind, but I think some of the elements, like the neoclassical elements, that was something that he wanted to take back to Narnia. So
Yeah.
what do you think, Christian?
Yeah, I think that's it's a good summary, that this album contains a variety, and from the beginning, when we did the Awakening album, like the song Hold On, you can hear in the same vibe as No More Shadows from the Past, and you can hear also some more modern stuff as well. But I think you have the epic stuff, bombastic stuff. You have the neoclassical stuff in Wake Up Call, and in a little bit in Rebel as well. So yeah, I think if I compare all the albums we have done as Narnia, we have never done an album that have so much variation in style like it is on this album. So I think even if you are a new Narnia listener, yeah, it's a very good album to start with, to get the direction, but also to go back. So I think it's where the past and present meets in a perfect way.
We have forsaken what it gave our idol. Turn around and heal.
Jonathan, a question for you then, because yes, the band has come and gone and come back and so on. The core of the band is, comparing to most bands out there, quite stable, and there's a longevity there. You are the quote-unquote new guy in the team, although it's been a good amount of time now, obviously. Joining a band that has been playing together for such a long time, like, what is that for you, coming into a band like this and becoming a full-fledged member? Like what was that evolution or that process like for you?
Yeah, well, I met the guys. I know Christian for a time before I joined the band, but I met all the guys, including Andreas Passmark, the former bass player, when they were doing a photo shot for the comeback album, the self-titled album. So, but I immediately felt like I was one in the gang. It was my family for the first time, actually. And so we went from a photo session with Andreas and then a photo session with me. But no hard feelings or anything. I have
And video recordings.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's more than a pretty face. He's more than a pretty face on photo. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I felt like home at the first moment, actually, and I knew about Narnia since the beginning, so they weren't new faces for me. But I still call myself the new guy when I don't want to make decisions. So that's a good thing.
When you have a band with people that collectively play in so many different areas or have so many ways to showcase their art, what's been the what are the agreements that have to be made? What is the approach of the band to make sure that amongst all those things, on top of that also other careers as well, that a priority for Narnia is protected, if you will. How do you make sure that after all these years Narnia stays a priority for everybody in the band?
I think that is different for all of us, but like for me musically, Narnia is my priority. So if another band gets a gig and Narnia gets a gig, I choose Narnia every time, and they know about it. But before, beside Narnia and the musical part, our families are most important, I think.
Yeah.
And the jobs, well, not that important. Yeah, I got my own business, so it's no big. It's different from us all, I think.
For sure.
Yeah, it's different. I think for me, who has been since the beginning, I've been doing also lots of other bands and projects and recordings. But Narnia has been very special since the beginning, and now when I over the 50s on Friday, I became 52. So, and you have been doing this for 35 years in different bands. I see we have something really special in Narnia, and there is all these things are working because it's to be a good live band, to really deliver every night. That takes time to blend everything in a good way, and I will always do recordings. I love to do different things with different musicians, but Narnia is special, and that will be the main touring band for me, and because we know our roles very clear in this band, and we have a certain level. I'm not ashamed to say that we are one of the best bands in this style, melodic metal style, right now, still delivering fantastic music to the people with a great message of hope and love that the world needs. And that is the main reason I'm still doing this. And Narnia has an important role in the music scene right now. I think when you see so much turbulence around the world, that here is a band that comes with a message and music that give hope to the people.
You are the air that I breathe. You are the truth that I see.
Narnia has embraced Christianity as one of the main themes of the bands, and that a lot of the songs are about that message. Throughout the years, one of the things that Narnia seems to have been very successful at, where some other bands have not been successful at, is a lot of other bands have been very quickly labeled as being very preachy as well. I'm sure that also came up at times with Narnia, but that doesn't seem to have been a big part of it. How, and maybe this is more a question for you, Christian, given your entire time with the band. But especially through those early days, like how did the band navigate or overcome some of those hurdles where labels are very quickly created, right or wrong, and sometimes that is good, sometimes that can also be limiting. Like what was that like for you guys, and how did you manage to navigate around all of those issues?
I remember actually when we should release after the first album, Awakening. There were some people from the label and that they want us to a little bit overshadow the clear Christian message. But we said no, we will never do it. Either you drop us, because we know the songs and the lyrics that we have. It's something special for us, and we can't please everybody. But what we will do is that we will always make the best effort to make good albums and good songwriting. And now I am a really huge record collector, a music fan, and I've been following. So I think I'm not a common musician, because I'm also supporting, buying a lot of music, right, as well as creating music. And I think with Narnia, they have seen and heard the passion in our music. So I think that always stands through, and they see that this is real. This is not just let's say a preachy thing. This is natural, right. And I think they feel that when they hear our songs, that Christian really mean it, what he sings about. And we have always had a good connection been touring with Ronnie as a Dio, played with Festival, Judas Priest and Scorpions, Europe, whatever. Doesn't matter. We love it, and we love the heavy metal audience, and we are in our band. If I talk about myself, I'm raised up in a Christian home. Of course, that Christian influence have touched me, and then I decided I really believe this, and so for me it has always been a natural thing. But I think we have prayed or tried to make this band the vision and the mission to really reach people in a good way. And I remember when we toured with Striper in South America, I know that some of the band members told us, I see you really take care and talk to your fans afterwards. We used to do that because we saw Striper. They did the shows, but then afterwards, they were not so close to the fans afterward. But we took time, sometimes hours, just to talk to the fans, be with the fans, and that is a very important thing for Narnia. That we are not just there to show off. We are there because we love this, and we have an amazing thing together. And I really hope, Jasper, that you get to see a Narnia show, and you will understand what I mean. Because we want invite people. We are here together. We have a wonderful time, and that's not stopped when the encore is done. It continues with the album. So I think from that, we have built up a very strong fan base. The same way as I see your paintings behind with Iron Maiden. I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan as well, but also built up this connection with the fans. They really, it's real. It's heart to heart, and I think that's one of the secrets.
I've been running all my life to find some peace of mind, searching for the treasure.
A question that I wanted to ask you, because I was talking, I guess at this point that is almost a year ago, to the Finnish band Battle Lore, who kind of did their comeback, and they are obviously with a name like Narnia, it's quite clear where that inspiration came from. They are huge Tolkien fans, and they use a lot of Tolkien names and what have you in their lyrics and song titles and album titles. And I know that they've actually, unfortunately, had to deal with a lot of legal issues about that. where when they were started as a band, they didn't really thought that would be an issue, but turns out that copyright violation, it doesn't really matter who you are, where you come from. It is a fact of life. What has that been like for a band called Narnia?
Yeah, I can tell you that it must been. Let's see. Could it be around Enter the Gate or after? I actually don't remember. But it was when the Disney wanted to release, the movies.
The movies,
yeah. I can't say exact year right now, but we got a paper where they sue us. They want to stop us using the name. So actually, my good friend Olof from Sweden had a good lawyer in Sweden that get in touch with our German management at that time. So it was back and forth with Disney and relatives around, because they always do like this when they should introduce something. They check out if there's any disturbance. But because we have had released albums since mid-90s and stuff like that, so we are allowed to use the name. We come to conclusion and agreement. Cost a little bit money, much for a band, but we did, Narnia is still around, but we can't use the lions on the cover. We don't.
The iconic lions of Narnia's covers.
So we can still reprint, our albums or the old albums, but we will not, even if we will not disturb or whatever. We have never tried to, because we also showed them and they saw that we did it in the C.S. Lewis spirit. So I understand that, like the band you're talking about, the Finnish band with Tolkien and everything, and but Narnia, I picked that name. I remember. I saw the cartoon movie in 1985. Same year I discovered Striper. Same year around that time I really wanted to have a Christian band. But it took then nearly 10 years before I formed Narnia in January 1996 together with CJ. But anyway, so it was more, it sounded good. I like the symbolism. So that was the main. So no big thing about calling the band Narnia. And but we had some legal things, but it's 15 years back, something like that. Since that, we haven't had the lion on the cover. So I think that must be Curse of Generation.
That's why they brought on board Jonathan. Now I get it. Now I get it.
And
the new lion,
so he got the
lion of Narnia.
Living water from the Father fills my body. Now I move.
Maybe final question, Jonathan, for you. When you came to the band, like, obviously you're gonna promote this album, and you're gonna want to play a lot of the new songs. But you mentioned that you knew the band, obviously, and members of the band long before you joined the band. Now that you've been in the band for a number of years and you've been on releases with the band, when it comes time, when the time is there to build that set list for those shows to promote the new material, inside, is there a bit of a struggle between the fanboy of Narnia that you were, and you're like, oh, I want to play live some of the classic songs, or is there a struggle with like, no, I'm the new member of Narnia, and I would really want to focus on the songs that I was part of recording? Like, what's that like for you as you're building a set list?
Well, that's pretty easy, because I think I am a Narnia fan and I like the song that the fans are liking, so it's no big deal actually. So I like many of the old songs, but I also think this album we have made now, Ghost Town, is the absolute best album. And some of the songs should perfectly fit in one of the older albums as well, like Hold On and Rebel, and so. But it's a hard thing to make a set list, because I think Narnia, if I talk from the outside, has so many great songs. So it's hard to pick you just for 1 hour or how long the concerts are. So it's a hard thing, but I think we would agree. And if the audience is happy, I'm probably as happy as them.
Good. That's a positive way of wrapping us up, and we'll keep our eyes open for all the announcements for shows that you will make to promote this new album. Christian and Jonathan, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And I wish you all the best with the release of this. Let's call it the start of a new chapter for Narnia, with the new album coming out March 17. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you on a stage real soon.
Thank you, Jesper. I'm just curious. Which are your favorite songs on the album?
Well, I have this thing where, like, Rebel was the first song that I heard, also for obvious reasons, for people that know the full track list. So that I thought was a lot of fun, because it has, I think Jonathan mentioned, some of those neoclassical callbacks that we get. I think it's a great, like, a new introduction for people that are newer to the band. So right now I would say that probably is my favorite, but I've had the chance to listen to the full album once or twice only so far, so I will ask me again tomorrow, and I'll probably have a different answer for you, and ask me again in a month from now, I'll probably have another answer for you, right? So as it, I think, always goes with music, it's so hard for everyone, I think, to say, this is my favorite song of all time, this is my favorite band of all time, this is my favorite song of this band. It's I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's something that it changes all the time, and you can lose a lot of blood, sweat, and tears about trying to figure out for yourself what's the best song. But yeah, I like the power of that one for sure. What's your favorite?
Mine too. I like Rebel too, and Hold On. I think these two are the favorites right now. You, Christian?
I think it's Rebel, Hold On, and Glory Days.
There you go. So it seems that Rebel did something well. If the three of us, I'll
it's a good starter. Good energy.
There you go.
And your favorite Iron Maiden track?
That's also very difficult. I mean, I probably will never. The quality fan or the hipster in me wants to say that it has to be either Phantom of the Opera or Alexander the Great, but I don't know, maybe it's just Killers, Killers probably still my favorite album, because that was the first one that I had on vinyl as a little guy all those years ago, and that's still my favorite Eddie, at least I know that, the Killers Eddie.
And for me it's still Peace of Mind is my favorite album. Have always been since 1983, but I still also love Somewhere in Time, except black songs, Alexander Stranger in a Strange Land, fantastic songs, and so I saw them this summer, amazing performance, and still have the passion, and I hope the same will happen for Narnia.
There you go.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it, and subscribe to the channel.